Hey, you guys, welcome back to another lesson one. In this lesson, we'll be talking about how to pay yourself first. This is one of the most prominent wealth building principles that we've used for hundreds and hundreds of years. I actually picked this up from a book called Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason. This is a very, very popular book. It's very well written and easy to digest, but the principles in this book are timeless. This is actually a part of your homework assignment. Everybody needs to get a copy of The Richest Man in Babylon. Study this book if you truly wish to become a successful investor. So let's go back to that principle that we mentioned. You should take care of yourself before you take care of anybody else. Before you take care of any bills, you pay any debt, before you pay for anything, pay yourself first. And you may think now that, okay, well, I do pay myself first, right? You get your paycheck. Actually, no. You don't pay yourself first. Before you get your check, if you have a check, taxes are already taken out. So you're actually paying the government first. In The Richest Man in Babylon, the first key to building true wealth is paying yourself first. And it states that we should not pay ourselves anything less than 10% of everything that we make. So if we make $1,000 per week, we should automatically pull out $100, which represents 10% of that 1,000, and pay ourselves. We should put that aside into what? That traditional bank account that I told you about earlier on, right? Remember I said you would need that traditional bank account to get your money from the traditional world into this new digital banking ecosystem, right? Although it's a minimum of 10%, that doesn't mean that if you have enough income that you can't save more than that 10%. Now, listen to me very carefully. I'm not telling you to put 10% of your income into Bitcoin, right? I'm simply telling you to practice strong wealth building habits by saving or paying yourself 10% first and separating that systematically. And if you can, do it automatically to where your account automatically pulls 10% of whatever comes into your account out and places it into this new account. In the process of us determining how much we're able to save from our income, whether we're able to save 10% or whether we're able to sell 15 or 20%, some of us have enough income where we can actually save 30%. We need to have a number in our mind that represents how much we're willing to allocate to Bitcoin to capitalize and to build and to grow our bank. So if we decide to allocate 10% of everything that we bring in and we set it aside to pay ourselves first, we need to automatically have something in our mind that says, okay, out of this 10%, I'm willing to put this percentage. And I recommend people start off with 1%. So if you're going to pull 1% of your income and put it in crypto, either you can take that 1% out of the 10%, or you can amp it up to 11%, put that 10% in your traditional savings and simply pull that additional 1% out of your income. I promise you won't miss it. Once you get that habit together, you won't miss that 1%. You won't miss the 10%, even if it's 11%. You will not miss it once that habit is formed. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing when it comes to growing your bank. So once you have a specific number in mind, let's say we start with 1%, as you get more comfortable and you convert that 1% into Bitcoin and you store it in your capital buckets, right? You'll actually start to see it appreciate. You'll actually start to see it grow. So if you can save 10% of your normal income and put it into your savings account as a typical wealth building strategy, right? 1% in addition to that 10% makes 11%. And I'll teach you what to do and how to move with that 1% in the next lesson.